was furious. You could tell from his interview. But he's chugging along here and still looking to acquire that private island and perhaps do the next event on May 9th. Joe, you're a big UFC guy. What are your thoughts on this?
I am. So yes, Disney was the one who shut down the operation. Obviously, Dana White has had extravagant plans to to basically try to reorganize the event and move it to a specific location, whether that be a private island, whether that be in the middle of Native American land somewhere. Who knows, right? But yeah, so they're definitely going to try to have this event by May 9th. And as of now, the location is to be determined. My crackpot conspiracy theory is Dana is secretly working with Vince McMahon to have the USC event at the Performance Center.
Interesting. I was just going to suggest that, if Dana's fed up with Disney Plus here, after their deal, he should take UFC to WWE Network. How sick would that be?
That would be amazing. Hold on. You're about to hear me kill a bug in my room. You ready?
Yeah, let's hear it.
You heard that? I had a stink bug fall from my ceiling. I don't know how it got in. But now I got to watch out because you got to clean them because when you kill them, they attract other stink bugs.
Yeah, and speaking of attracting other things, all right, so you got Shayna Baszler. She came over from UFC recently. Now, Covington comes out. He's like, I want to come to WWE in 2021. Never heard of this guy. He's 170 pounds. He wouldn't even qualify for 205 Live. I don't think WWE has any interest in him. So sure, he could say all that he wants. But the only UFC news that really matters is Ronda Rousey coming out, attacking the fans, and WWE acknowledging it. So no doubt about it, Ronda Rousey is coming back to WWE. Right, Joe?
Yeah, all of that was – people were getting themselves worked up. A lot of people weren't sure if it was a work or not. I think the fact that they mentioned it on Raw this week when they interviewed Shayna, like backstage right before she came out, all but confirmed that not only is it a work, but I agree with you. I think Ronda will be back at some point. I don't know if it's going to be soon. I think it'll probably either be near, like towards the summer or later in the year. But I think this alluded to the fact that she's probably going to come back.
Absolutely. And, these guys are so forgetful that I forgot to even mention it, but, the Revival are gone from WWE. Who cares? Oh my gosh, what's the Revival doing in the Impact Zone? Nobody cares. Then nobody's going to bat an eyelash at these guys. If Enzo and Cass, though, went to AEW, there'd be some buzz.
Yeah, I think they would move the needle. I like the Revival in the ring. They were fine, but they weren't as big as everybody thought they would. They were probably, of all the tag teams and the talent in WWE in the last few years, to me, they were always the most overrated. Yep. They were always in the ring with a team that was better than them, that was more entertaining and more over. But they guys like that have utility. But in the WWE, when you have guys like Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson in the club, and you have the Revival, they're basically like the same guys, right? Except I'd rather watch AJ Styles in the club. So
maybe AJ.
Whatever,
AJ could be a sleeper for Money in the Bank. Quickly, but if they do a fourth man, but we'll see about that. All right, so let's move on to the last topic here, which is really big news, and it's that Drew Brees, despite him being in the NFL this season, if there is one, is apparently signing with NBC to become a broadcaster with them after he retires. He might play another 2 years, but this is all done to keep him away from the ESPN booth. ESPN, they saved a lot of money in that Romo deal, so they're looking to spend it. Now Brees is apparently he'll join the pregame show on NBC at some point down the road, and then eventually they'll switch him and Collinsworth. And Michaels is going to be replaced by Mike Tirico. We already know that. So ESPN, maybe they kind of just go to makeshift booth for this year, and then next year they can assign Michaels as a free agent because I don't think that trade's going to work out for this season. And I don't know who they're going to go with for the analyst. They should maybe – I mean, he's really not the most charismatic guy, but they should try to maybe get Eli Manning because it seems like Peyton's not interested. Eli might actually be a good broadcaster, but Joe, I think with what they currently have on their roster, I think they should go with Steve Levy doing play-by-play and Pat McAfee as the analyst.
Yeah, McAfee's very entertaining. I like Brees. He's got charm to him, and he's very likable. But the problem is, it's like that kind of guy doesn't necessarily translate to TV, right? So let's look at, I think, two guys who play a different position, but are good comparisons to look at when you're looking for a player who wants to translate to TV, right? So you had two tight ends recently who did it. You had Jason Witten and you had Greg Olsen. Jason Witten obviously tried to do it for ESPN. Greg Olsen has been doing it for Fox, and he was doing XFL games, right?
It's Olsen going to play this season now. Olsen was very good with the XFL,
right.
But I think he's still good. He should still play another season, but you never know with that broadcasting money.
Yeah, you never know. I think Olsen transitioned pretty seamlessly. I think there's a balance between being able to correctly call something that's going on and give insight without overdoing it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whereas I think Witten just provided nothing out. Like, he was just a body there. He would talk about stuff, and he was just bad. At least Olsen knew what he was talking about, gave you great insight, had personality to him, right? So in the case of Brees, here you have one of the best quarterbacks of all time, right? But is he going to translate like Tony Romo did? See, Tony Romo has a personality to him, right? So when he's involved in calling a game, right, does rub some people the wrong way. A lot of people love him. A lot of people don't like him. But at least when you're watching a game with him, on commentary, you're going to get some substantial stuff, right? We have to see if a guy like Brees is made for that.
ESPN missed out on Rob Gronkowski, who actually did a good job on this pregame show with Fox. They could have thrown him in the booth. I mean, what the heck, right? He couldn't have been too bad.
Rob Gronkowski is perfect for WWE.
24/7 champ.
Any of the major networks. What's up?
The 24/7 champ.
He is a 24/7 champion, like you called. You called it.
You know I'm right. I mean, that's the reason why the show is named what it is. So who would you go with? I mean, first of all, Joe Tessitore is getting the short end of the stick here. I don't hear people really complaining too much about him doing play-by-play. So what would you, I guess based on current ESPN employees, what would your Monday Night Football crew be?
I like the idea of Levy doing play-by-play because I think he was very good doing the XFL games. I think he's very underrated in that regard. I think he's underused by ESPN in general, actually. I just think he's a very likable personality and a great play-by-play guy. I don't necessarily hate Tessitore. For the guy who's doing the color analysis and the other analysis, I don't hate your Eli idea. Eli would be very fun to listen to. I don't know if he wants to do it.
I don't think he has any.
I definitely want.
Eli is the highest paid player of all time, so I don't think he needs the money.
I don't think he needs the money either. I would love to hear Peyton do it. I think Peyton would be great at it. The problem is, I don't know if he wants to do it either. And considering the money he makes doing
I don't think Peyton wants to do it because if for some reason he flops, it's really going to damage his reputation. So I think he's going to say no. But
right, I agree with that.
How about maybe in 4 or 5 years, fresh off retirement, Tom Brady? You think he'd be a good announcer?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you need
I don't know if
he's personality. I mean, Eli is pretty dry, but he has some personality. I think
I think would be a really good announcer.
Who's that?
Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck would be good. I actually think Andrew Luck's going to come out of retirement at some point in the next 2 years. But in the meantime, I mean, that's a hell of an idea, Andrew Luck.
Yeah, because like I said, you need a guy who knows what he's talking about, could do so with ease, but you also need somebody who's got personality who could relate to the common person, right? So that's why I like Brady. I think would be a lot like Aikman in the sense that he would be able to do it, but a lot of people don't necessarily like Aikman because either A, he's too much of a homer for the Cowboys when he does games, or B, he's just I don't know. I don't want to say he's unlikable, but I could see why he rubs some people the wrong way. Like my uncles don't really like him. They prefer Nance and Romo to Aikman and Buck. And I know Joe Buck's gotten a lot of hate over the years. I think he's gotten better as I've gotten older. I don't think he's really bad anymore. I think he's actually quite good. So you need to be able to balance that. I don't know if Brady would be able to do that because I don't know if people would be able to necessarily separate the player he was on the field from the guy who he's trying to be in the broadcast. You know what I mean? Because there's definitely a little bit of that bravado he's got, that arrogance, that personality, the winning culture. You know what I mean? That doesn't necessarily you need somebody who's more of a common person.
I got one more. How about this? Tom Coughlin from Monday Night Football.
Coughlin would be good. I don't know if he would do it, but I think he would be good.
Who knows? I think we're most likely looking at Dan Orlovsky or Jesse Palmer.
Jesse Palmer. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work out. But
okay.
we shall see. That's going to do it for this episode of You Know I'm Right. If any of these predictions come true, it's because you listen to the show. You always get the scoop here first. So that's going to do it for our episode 8 here. It was a great one. And thank you for listening.